We actually talked to the president of the Baptist Ministers Conference of Cincinnati, who was noticeably upset and made mention that this could have repercussions against the city.
As the Baptist Ministers Conference, we will make a decision to shut this city down. We cannot keep playing with these people. We cannot keep allowing this to happen to our people.
Mayor Cranley actually sent a letter to the judge saying that, look, Tracie Hunter has lost her judgeship. She's lost her law license. She's been punished enough. Please do not send her to jail. But prosecutor Joe Dieters sent a letter as well saying that she's shown no remorse and that he actually wholeheartedly believes that she should serve that time in the Hamilton County justice system.
A supporter of former juvenile court judge Tracie Hunter says she's only been in jail for 2 days and already she is hearing that she could be reported for a probation violation. Hunter apparently refused to sign papers saying that she'd pay court costs. Angela Ingram joins us from the Hamilton County Jail with why Hunter's supporters say asking her to sign was unreasonable. Angela.
Well, Cammie, Bishop Bobby Hilton is a longtime supporter of Tracie Hunter. He came here last night to visit her. He says that she told him that she was asked to sign these papers, but there was a blank where the court cost amount was. And when she asked how much it would be, it was in the millions. So she simply refused to sign the papers. Hilton has been a longtime Hunter supporter. He says yesterday he visited her at the jail.
A probation supervisor came in for her to sign a document, and part of that document said that she would pay the cost of these proceedings. Blank, she told me that the line where it said she had to pay for proceedings was left blank, but she did ask the person, well, what is this amount? And that person said millions.
Hilton says Hunter refused to sign and that the probation supervisor then told Hunter her refusal would be a probation violation.
And she'd be sent to the penitentiary.
As in state prison as opposed to the county jail and with even more time to serve.
I do not know, except but by the grace of God, that she is even surviving this.
Now, also at that protest was State Senator Cecil Thomas, who says that Tracie Hunter is a political prisoner. He also says expect more protests just like this one in the coming days. It was a combination of prayer
She sits behind enemy lines
and protest.
Black judges matter. Black judges matter.
Outside of Judge Patrick Dinkelacker's Green Township home Monday, State Senator Cecil Thomas says Tracie Hunter's 6-month sentence is unjust.
See her literally drug was unconscionable. Someone who only weighs maybe a little over 100 pounds to be treated like that.
The crowd here simply said,
If she was white, she wouldn't be locked up. If she was white, she wouldn't be locked up.
Bishop Bobby Hilton, a friend of Hunter, says city businesses should also expect an economic boycott. It comes during the same week hundreds of African Americans are expected to flock to Cincinnati for Jazz Fest.
This should have been a happy week. People were going to come and celebrate a great music fest. It should have been a joyful, happy week. Now it is one of the worst weeks.
Despite the protests, there is hope for Hunter. Prosecutor Joe Dieters and Mayor John Cranley have spoken to Governor Mike DeWine today, asking him to commute Hunter's sentence. But both Hilton and Thomas aren't buying it.
That should have been clearly noted in the earlier letter that came in the court today.
I'm sorry, Mr. Dieters, that is totally ridiculous. I'm sorry, Judge Hunter is not going to accept that kind of garbage.
FCC is also the new owner of a church at the corner of Liberty and John Streets. Christian Hauser shows us how the club bought it and what's next.
This is the latest property to be added to the FC Cincinnati portfolio. It's on a great spot on Liberty Street and has a park next to it. But right now, FCC says it doesn't know what it's going to do with it. I called and knocked on the doors to the church several times, but no one ever answered. Revelation Missionary Baptist members were the ones who brought the idea of selling the property to FC Cincinnati. The congregation voted 49-5 in favor of the deal. But if you look online, you won't see FCC listed as the owner. You'll find West End Holdings, LLC. That's an affiliate company for the club created to buy properties. Outgoing West End Community Council President Keith Blake says they found out a few weeks ago.
It wasn't a surprise. There were rumors before that, so it wasn't a surprise to me.
But now the question is what to do with the building and the parking lot.
They haven't expressed any firm plans beyond we want to have the ability to control property that's within close proximity to the stadium. Doesn't seem unreasonable to me.
Blake hopes the club moving to the West End will ultimately mean a revitalization of the neighborhood.
Not every day somebody, invests $250+ million in your community, and I don't expect that'll go south.
Blake worries the development could ultimately mean a lack of affordable housing in the area.
Now, the other piece of business tonight involves the board president, Keith Blake, who signed that initial CBA on behalf of the community council. He is facing impeachment for a second time. This was tried to be done last month, but certain legal deadlines were not met, so that process now begins for a second time.
It's not really being built for the people of the West End. Let's be clear about that. This is being built for people who don't live there, who perhaps will never live there, who will come in and park and enjoy the game and so forth, and then they'll leave.
Young fears a stadium will displace West Enders like development displaced people in Over the Rhine. He's not sure that public input will matter in the end.
Well, if experience is any teacher, I believe that no matter what the community has to say, if it's a low-income community, if it's a largely African-American community, their wishes will probably be ignored, and the stadium will be built.
He says he wishes them well, but not in the West End.
Think again before you bring your money in. Think again before you bring your money in. Because blacks are not respected in this county.
The outrage following what some have called a miscarriage of justice seems to be directed at making the county feel the pressure where it could really hurt the bank.
I have concerns about the business community and whether, like, our member businesses will do well or whether there will be an economic downturn or some type of economic retaliation.
On the brink of the Cincinnati Music Festival, which is projected to bring in over $100 million, Eric Kearney with the African American Chamber says his vendors are concerned.
Think of this as almost like Christmas for some businesses, right? You make your entire year over a short period of time.
Hunter supporters are not going anywhere anytime soon.
Supporters pass out flyers hoping to bring awareness to the city's visitor about the recently jailed Hunter and a Hamilton County court system they say is corrupt.
Five African-American male black judges in Hamilton County have come to me and complained about the racism in the courthouse at Hamilton County. So it's not just about Judge Hunter, it's about a whole lot more people. We're not going to stop until the volume is up, until somebody hears what we're saying. No white person that has done worse than what they've accused Judge Hunter of doing has ever been indicted and has ever gone to jail.
Hunter supporters are promising more protests, this one targeting wallets.
We are boycotting this city now!
Some Tracie Hunter supporters want payback. Bishop Bobby Hilton told us Monday those who are visiting the Queen City for Jazz Fest should spend their money wisely.
This should have been a happy week. People are going to come and celebrate a great music fest. It should have been a joyful, happy week. Now it is one of the worst weeks.
It's a big weekend in Cincinnati, and supporters of Tracie Hunter are hoping to capitalize on that.
They say they'll be spreading the word about her case during the Cincinnati Music Festival and encouraging fans to shop at businesses owned by African Americans.
101.5 The Buzz of Cincinnati, your talk station. Lincoln Ware with you on a Friday morning.
Tracie Hunter's topic number one on Lincoln Ware's radio show. This morning's guest, Judge Norbert Nadel, who sentenced Hunter in 2014.
Do you regret sentencing her to 6 months in jail for paper crime?
No, I don't.
But listeners on The Buzz disagree. Many supporters of Tracie Hunter. Ware believes it could ramp up after the festival.
I think they're going to start earmarking places to boycott. I think that's probably coming next. And you don't want to see that happen here in Cincinnati or Hamilton County, but they've made this happen.
Community members have decided that they are going to request individuals coming in for this festival to be very careful where they spend their money.
Bishop Bobby Hilton wants festival goers to be careful where they spend their money.
Not only was Judge Hunter sentenced, this entire county has been sentenced.
I just want the city and for out-of-towners to understand who Judge Hunter is and what she did while she was on the bench. It's very unfortunate that she didn't get a chance to implement enough policies.
Supporters are encouraging travelers to patronize Black-owned businesses. Now, at the City of Cincinnati website, there is a directory of those businesses. We also have a link for you at local12.com.
The Cincinnati Music Festival continues tomorrow night with acts such as Mary J. Blige, Frankie Beverly and Mays, and the Ohio Players.
Cecil Thomas asked for this investigation of Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters and Ohio Supreme Court Justice Pat DeWine because DeWine asked Dieters to get a summer internship for his son. Thomas claims that's an illegal public contract, and that's the same charge that Tracie Hunter was convicted of and now awaits sentencing on.
Supreme Court Justice Pat DeWine knowingly used the influence of the public office he holds to secure authorization of a public contract for a member of his family.
Thomas said the smoking gun is an email DeWine sent to prosecutor Joe Dieters asking for the internship, and the reply, another for sure.
Chief Hamilton County Prosecutor Joe Dieters appears to have been complicit in this act by agreeing to assist in carrying out an apparent illegal request. If she was charged, there's no reason these individuals shouldn't be charged. Simple as that.
Suspended juvenile court judge Tracie Hunter will not be retried on 8 felony counts. The stunning development came as special prosecutors dropped the charges.
Now, Tracie Hunter walked into the courtroom. A lot of her supporters were there. She was ready for this retrial. Then the special prosecutors said they were going to dismiss the charges because of the cost to taxpayers and the division the case has caused in the community. The jury, of course, deadlocked on the remaining counts during the last trial, which may have been part of today's decision to drop those charges.
As a result of her conviction, she no longer is relevant to either the court system or the community. It is our duty to seek justice here. To prosecute the remaining charges serves no useful purpose.
Special prosecutors did not tell us in advance that they were going to dismiss. And they knew that we were working diligently to defend this case, and they knew we had a great defense to this case.
Since dropping the charges was a surprise for the defense team, I'm curious to know what was Hunter's reaction.
You know, we asked her outside of court, Cammie, and when you go to these hearings and you try to talk to Judge Hunter, she is always flanked by what appears to be security guards and her supporters. So they surrounded her today, and I asked her how she was feeling, what her reaction was, and she said, "Glory be to God." She told me that twice, and that's all she would say, and then they started singing that as they walked down the hallway.